While I've interacted with various speedrunners across various communities and events, I have a bad tendency to not follow up on said interactions. Part of that is me being a loner, and part of that is the disconnect of running very different games with very different communities, such as speedrun life when you're not, quote, staying true, or a, quote, absolute legend, but just a guy who tends to run games with a few or no other runners past or present. There is one upside to speedrunning less popular games, but it's something that I became disillusioned with almost immediately: the chance to claim a world record speedrun. There are, unfortunately, some runners out there with SRC accounts who specifically look for games that don't have leaderboards yet. Then they throw together a run, get the game page approved, and claim both a world record and moderator status. It's to the point SRC banned certain types of games from getting new leaderboards. Even if not the intention of this move, it helped slightly to curb the trend of record squatting. I've never quite understood this mentality, which thankfully is not a widespread one, but it has directly impacted my approach to speedrunning, particularly when it comes to the words world record. I've had a habit of not using the phrase world record with most of my runs, even when it's technically true, for 3 reasons. 1. I hate going back and changing the titles of my videos when a record gets beat. 2. I usually don't know if anyone else has ever run the game, so I don't want to make a false claim. The 3rd reason is something I can tie back to when I was reading a convention guest list and saw a not quite small but not quite known streamer, someone I only recognized as the subject of an old Retsu Prey style video. The description for said guest said they held speedrun world records for something like 24 games, and out of curiosity, I looked them up. The bulk of this list was games that only they recorded times for, or less than 3 or 4 people ever recorded times for, or categories that only they ran. Even if technically not an inaccurate statement, it can come off as disingenuous. Personally, I wouldn't feel right claiming a record where I'm the only one vying for it. That's like having a football team that's the only team in the whole league and claiming the championship by default. The point is, as someone who speedruns games with little or no audience and little or no other runners, I usually don't say new record anymore, even if it's actually true. Instead, I'll just say PB, the cry of victory for a new personal best. And this manifested on one of speedrunning's biggest stages. Awesome Games Done Quick 2017, the Dragon's Lair SNES run. You know, the one I usually don't talk about because I hate how it turned out. I'll expound on that in another video. Here's something I've never mentioned about that run. As soon as it ended and I realized what time I got, I yelled, PB! Yes! So, remember what I mentioned before? Yeah, that time was actually a world record. I was the only runner for the game at the time, and the only other run I could find was from 2 French Let's Players pretending they were playing what was obviously a tool-assisted speedrun. It's the only time I've ever gotten a record in a marathon run, which, of course, of all the games I've played and all the marathons I've done, it had to be this one. So, yeah, I technically got a world record at a Games Done Quick event, even if it's one that I didn't want to claim, to the point that I almost immediately started grinding for a better time once I got home. I wound up beating said record within about 2 weeks. So should I start saying new record so stuff like this doesn't slip through the cracks of incredibly insignificant speedrun history? Maybe, but I probably won't. Oh, and a quick shout out to Salgaden, who recently got the new best time for this game. I probably butchered your name, but still, good work.